We could have had it all, rolling at the bar. I'm the librarian, and I came to read. Yes, God, the good sis was getting her life. I will definitely talk about it a little bit later in this video. I've been repeating this, but I want you guys to make sure that if any of you are going to be in Atlanta on April 19th, which is my birthday, please keep that Friday night open, girl. I'm going to be doing something in the club. Sis, I feel like 50 Cent. I'm going to be doing something in the club. The flyer is being finalized right now, and the people who sign up on patreon.com/AdrianExpression will get to see it first. So yes, just make sure that Friday, April 19th is clear for those of you who want to come, or those of you guys who are already in Atlanta to party up with your boy. Apparently, there's some news that came out that season 2 of Pose is apparently coming back in June, and let me tell you something, I'm gonna get my goddamn life. I'm gonna get my life. I cannot wait. They said that it's going to be like a little time jump. Instead of being in the 1980s, it's going to be in the 1990s. We're going to deal with, of course, more of the HIV epidemic and the differences between classes and race, and the people who could afford to get care were able to see some people about their health and people who could not. And that will no doubt reflect what already exists today. From what I was reading, they said that they were going to begin filming next week. Like I said, it will be released in June, apparently. You know, I am very excited to see where these the characters that we love so much, especially Miss Blanca, girl. I want to see what's going on with that. I want to see, you know, this truce that we had between Blanca and Miss Girl. Will it last for the, you know, season 2, girl? Things can change in a matter of days, especially for our gay asses. You know what I mean? Oh, but things can change within a matter of days, much less like a whole ass decade if they're gonna jump that far. But I would love to see it. I'm glad that they're doing it this way. I can't wait for the memes, the drama, the tears, the happiness, the reliving the trauma, because that's what, oh my God, if it's one thing Pose will do, oh girl, maybe if you are not LGBT, watching some of these episodes is definitely easier for you than if you were actually LGBT. But let me tell you something, sis. Pose knows how to bring you back to your childhood, especially if you are, you know, gay, whatever. Bring you back to your childhood, your adolescence, and let you feel those same feelings that the characters is feeling, just those feelings of abandonment and not feeling good enough and being ostracized. It gets you to relive that stuff, but it also is really encouraging and heartwarming at the same time. And I think that's a very accurate reflection of just life in general. I can't wait to see it. I would like to see it. Now, let me tell you something I think I would never see, okay? I think I would never see Adele just chilling by the drinks, you know what I mean? Just chilling by the door, talking with the bouncer. I would never expect that shit. But sis, in these videos, Miss Adele was getting her life. She was playing drinking games, you know. I would be playing those type of games too. I would be jumping around for joy if I was that rich. You know what I mean? If I was as rich as Adele, I'll be rolling around on the stage too. What are y'all talking about? You know, I was so happy to see that sis was out in New York. I think it was New York City in a gay bar. Sis was acting like she was just, oh, it's just Adele. Like, girl, what? Can you imagine going out for drinks on Friday night? Hey, sis, yeah, we just going out on the weekend, girl. It's okay, come on. Bitch, and you see Adele, bitch, I would be doing the most. I promise you I would be doing the most. I promise you that if I saw Adele at a bar, I would walk up to her and act a fool. I would sing this to her. I'd be like, I heard that you paid my rent, that you paid my loans, and I'm debt free now. Never mind, I'll find a coin like you. I promise you. You know what I mean? Never mind, sis, we have to find a coin like yours. We have to find a coin like you. And that exactly is the energy that she was serving me on that evening. Just all types of rich bitch vibes. Because she said, you know what, I'm working. I don't know what working means, but I put on Twitter that could be interpreted like, girl, y'all might as well hurry up and release y'all little albums, because, you know, the good sis is coming to sell out. She's coming to tear the charts down. So I cannot wait. Glad to see you having fun, sis. Speaking of somebody else who was having a little bit of fun, y'all already know Mama Tina and her corny ass jokes. I get my life every single time because she knows they're corny and we all laugh with her. Oh my gosh, I get my life every time she pops up on Instagram. But Blue was in another one. I'll show it to you.
Hi, it's Corny Joke Time, and I'm here with a very special guest, my beautiful granddaughter. She actually gave me the joke. So hey. Here it goes.
Hey, so how many petals, how many lips does a flower have?
Well, how many?
Tulips.
Tulips?
You get it? There's a kind of flower that's called a tulip.
I got it. I got it.
Yes, God. Now, let me tell you something. I love Blue's personality. She said tulips. I love Blue's personality, her voice. She seems very outgoing. I cannot wait to see what type of tea, what is she going to be serving the girls when she gets older? Is she going to be a comedian? Is she going to be a rapper? Is she going to be a singer? Is she going to avoid all entertainment and go into a completely different field like kids do to their parents all the time? I would love to see it. It just gives me great joy to see these black kids just living their fullest lives, even though, you know, society, even though sometimes people who have been brainwashed in your own community, they don't want you to live your fullest, best, most expressive life. So I'm happy to see Blue doing that shit while also telling some corny ass jokes with her grandma. And since we're already speaking about jokes, Tokyo, y'all know Tokyo, who, that's my best friend, that's my best. She's on Love and Hip Hop, she does that song. She went onto her live to embarrass herself. It was a joke. That's what the live stream was to me. I'll play some of it.
Not even just that though, like it's too persuasive now, almost as if they try to persuade children and brainwash children like to be that. Like, gay is a sexuality. Like, a child, that shit is almost like it's being forced on them now because that's all that's put out there.
But see, there's so many people who think in that same way, and we're easily able to identify those of you who do, because there's no amount of fooling, there's no amount of trickery that you can create, you can fathom, that will really hide your true intentions. The first thing is, sis, you cannot be saying, oh, well, girl, I'm okay with gay people, I'm okay with gay people, but then be so terrified if kids end up being gay. That's the first thing. The second thing is, y'all keep saying, for some reason, this is the rhetoric that y'all using. Instead of just being honest with yourselves and with us and saying that you hate seeing gay people on TV, you hate when gay niggas kiss, you hate when gay women kiss each other, you hate seeing trans people on TV, instead of just being that blatantly honest and just getting all this extra bullshit out the way, y'all love to sit, like y'all love to do this bullshit ass ally thing that y'all been have going on. Y'all would key with gay people. Yes, God, honey, yes. Do you do hair? Do you do makeup, sis? Can you do my nails, girl? You love to do that. You say you're cool with gay people when it's time for your family members to come out and say that they gay. When it's time for your kids to be like, oh, well, sis, I'm not really straight. Y'all have a whole other, you know what I mean? It's a whole different type of thinking going on. We see how y'all react to that shit. I don't understand why y'all keep saying that particular thing about gays being on TV and influencing the children when there have been so many straight people have controlled all of media, all of the planet for eons and generations, and there's still people who end up being gay. I was raised and all I saw was on TV was straight people. Even when my parents and my family found out, I remember my parents didn't even want me talking to one of the girls at my church that was bisexual because they thought the gay energy would jump out. I'm just like, sis, what are y'all talking about? As much straightness as I've been surrounded with, so many other gay LGBT people have been surrounded with, if sexuality worked like the cooties or contagious chickenpox that y'all think it is, I would have been straight. We would have been straight. So obviously it doesn't work like that. Kids are going to grow up, gay kids, bisexual kids, trans, they're gonna grow up not seeing themselves represented on screen in the media. Y'all brains would explode if the only people y'all ever saw on TV, on mainstream, on social media, the only people you ever saw in politics, in government and economics, at the top of these companies, if the only people you ever saw were gay people living their lives, making out on TV, y'all would throw a fit because you don't see yourselves on TV. So I don't understand why it's so difficult to conceptualize that. I want y'all to use y'all IQ points for once. Please. I think that in general, every community, every single one, and since I'm in the black community, sis, the black community does too, they need to think about why is it they would rather see boys fighting than holding hands. And like, I don't need to say shit else. So let's just get some of this sad news out of the way. I heard that like recently, I think it was either yesterday or a couple days ago, Megan Thee Stallion's mom passed away, which I was not expecting at all. I didn't really know too much about her mother until I saw this featurette. It was really short. It was on Twitter. Megan Thee Stallion was talking about her mom and how her mom was extremely supportive of her. She was saying that her mother was a rapper, and they showed her in the booth with her mom, and her mom was like, nah, you can go back, run that back, you can do that line better. So her mom seemed to be obviously like extremely supportive of her daughter and what she was doing. So I can only imagine the difficulty. I don't even, ooh, girl, death is something that there's nothing that anyone can say. There's nothing that anyone can do. They can't, even if they all in your face, is nothing that can heal that wound except time. And it's not even ever going to be fully healed, because it will just be a little tiny bit less painful than it is in the immediate moment after the death happens. So there's really nothing anyone can say or do. Just give sis time and some space and some peace. Can't imagine what that feels like, especially when her career is basically, you know, shooting upwards, skyrocketing right now, to have to deal with a death like that and also stay focused, because capitalism does not allow you to sit your ass down. You know, entertainment careers oftentimes don't give you the luxury of sitting your ass down, especially in the beginning when you're trying to get some shit off. So I hope that sis has a good circle of people around her to get through it, but that's a lot. Also, some sad news. I saw news some time ago that one Park Glen shooting survivor had died by suicide. Then a few days later, I saw that another one had died by suicide. And then I also heard this, Jeremy Richmond, who was the father of this Sandy Hook shooting victim named Adele Richmond, he is apparently found dead and suspected suicide. So it's just like, it's so heartbreaking for obviously multiple reasons, but I think that we focus so much on the actual victims who got their lives undeservedly snatched away from them. I can't even imagine what that would even, you know, feel like, be like. But so often I feel like we brush over the traumatic effects that we'll have for years, generations, these shootings will have. Because I can't imagine, like I said, you're in a full household, and you have to continue your life on with that chair always being empty, that place at the table, the person's not coming back. And so these victims, people who survived it, not just a family member, but friends and stuff, people who, survivors' guilt, all that stuff. And it's just so crazy to watch people argue over, oh, don't regulate this, don't regulate that, stay out of this, as opposed to, girl, there's so much trauma, shooting, death happening that can be prevented and has been prevented in developed countries, and we are not taking on any of that type of action. We saw New Zealand had the shooting and they changed the laws within a matter of days. You know, it's a completely different culture over here, and for someone to deny that shit would be willfully ignorant. People are being desensitized to these types of things happening every damn day. I don't know what's going on with Raz-B, but someone needs to make sure that they checking on his ass, because he was on stage. He apparently had a quote unquote meltdown, and I don't like to call that shit meltdown, because if sis is going through some traumatic reliving experiences and stuff like that, it's not really a meltdown. Like, y'all, he just needs some damn help. He needs people who actually give a fuck about him to help him. Like, what's going on? The first time he brought up these allegations with Chris Stokes and everything, niggas clowned him. They clowned him. And then even when, after that, he went on, I think it was Instagram or Snapchat, and said, I'm done with this shit, I'm done with it. There's too many negative forces around the group, I'm out of the tour. Then he went back on the tour. Then he got on stage and now he had this quote unquote meltdown. Someone needs to reach out to his ass. Y'all have seen all these R. Kelly ass documentaries, you've seen all this shit. He's obviously in need of help right now, and niggas are clowning him. I don't understand it. So now, girl, I'll wrap this video up with some weird things going on in the political realm. Now, you may have heard news about this whole Robert Mueller report. And keep in mind, at the time of me making this video, the report has not been made public yet, okay? So what actually was released was Barr, who is an AG, who has been appointed by Trump. He basically released a letter, and all it really is just some talking points for Trump, I guess, to use. He released a letter basically saying that he summarized the summary of the evidence that Robert Mueller has, and gives very slim definitions of the crimes that Robert Mueller has allegedly been investigating. There was apparently a source close to Robert Mueller that said, hey sis, I was just presented the information, seeing who can and cannot be charged for what reason, whether lack of evidence or corroboration, whatever. My goal is to present information, and he wanted Congress and them to take that shit over. The only question now is Congress, are we going to see that damn report? The letter by Barr, he didn't summarize the actual evidence, he was summarizing the summary of it. All this shit is ridiculously confusing. If there's anyone who can offer more insight into this crazy shit, please leave in the comments, because I don't know what's going on at this point. But also keep in mind that Robert Mueller said that this man has not been exonerated. So also Michael Avenatti, after he made an announcement saying that Nike is involved with some fucked up ass shit on Twitter, he said on Twitter, they said that he apparently embezzled a client's, among other things, embezzled a client's money in order orders to pay his own expenses and debts, and also defrauded a bank by using phony tax returns to obtain millions of dollars. They're saying that he misappropriated client settlement money. Like I said, federal prosecutors allege he's not only tried to extort millions of dollars from Nike, but also stole millions from a client. So we'll get down to the bottom of this, girl. I've been seeing more and more news pop up about Mr. Vanity, girl. It's been interesting to say the least. I haven't seen any statement from him at the time of me making this video, so I'm sure you guys will be checking back and forth to see what he's actually been saying or trying to say about this situation. All this shit seems shady. Everybody in every part of this situation. From Trump to, I just, get me out of here. You're stressing me out.
You are stressing me out.
On that note, I'm gonna go see what your boyfriend is doing and tell him that you and I both, regardless of our titles, deserve to have a good goddamn evening.